This is How to Kill a Piano, episode 11. I'm George Tait. Before we get into this week's chapter, I just wanted to say thank you, as always, for spending your time here listening to this. It is Monday. That is when we release these. They come out every Monday at some point. Sometimes that's early in the morning. Sometimes it's later in the evening. In this case, it's about 11 o'clock at night that we've gotten this podcast out, and I apologize for those of you who have been waiting all day. If you're binging this and you're not listening to this in real time, then you haven't had to wait. Congratulations. But thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already been to howtokillapiano.com, please go have a visit. We do extra content over there with photos and some more background information, as well as have a player right there on the website that you can play this through in the background, either on your phone or on your computer or wherever it is that you want to listen to this podcast. If you are finding yourself in the car and you are listening to this on iTunes or Spotify or on Google or wherever you listen to podcasts, then you certainly haven't been to howtokillapiano.com lately, but if you go there, you will find some pretty cool stuff as well. In addition to some cool photos and some more background content, you will also find at the top of the page a donate button. If you'd like to donate to this project, even if it's only $1 or $2, please do so. That would mean the world to us, because this isn't free. This costs us money to produce this week after week, and of course for the hosting of this podcast service that blasts it to all the platforms out there. So if you could do that, that's wonderful. If you can't, no worries. Thank you for listening. Please at least pass the word on and pass this podcast to other folks and let them know that the story is happening and that you're enjoying it. And if you are enjoying this, please get in touch with us and let us know. We love hearing from you. I love having that feedback, and it's always great to know that what we're putting out in the world is being received and consumed and enjoyed. Without further ado, this is Chapter 9 of How to Kill a Piano, The Shepherd. In the beginning, before the sands of time began to trickle, filling the emptiness of space at the dawn of everything, there was no earth. There were no in-betweens. There were no cinder-block beanstalks. There was only a vast dark ocean of nothingness that kissed the edges of oblivion. Asleep within this boundless darkness, she laid waiting. Everything was peaceful as she slept, floating in the center of its deep, vast nothingness, undisturbed by dreams. When she was awake, she was never bored, as she never knew of a world any different from her own. The world was hers, and she was the world. There was nothing to miss, because there was nothing else to have. In an instant, everything changed. A loud crash of thunder brought a storm that woke her from slumber, and a low hum rumbled from the vast darkness. It grew louder and spread and filled the great emptiness with music and lightning that danced all around her, spider-webbing its electricity that began to paint the skies into existence. The endless night had come to a halt, and she awoke as the dawn began to break through the folds of time, and she began to blossom. These new dreams never again allowed her to rest undisturbed. She dreamt of oceans and islands. Next, she dreamt of animals and insects. She dreamt of creatures that could fly through the air and creatures that could swim deep in the sea without ever surfacing to breathe. She dreamt the world as we now know it, creating the trees that dance in the wind and the flowers that color in our landscapes. She gave all of these creatures the power to smell the world around them. She taught them to touch. She gave the gift of sight, sometimes even without the gift of eyes. She dreamt that they could hear and move and think, and then no sooner than it took for her to dream these dreams, she dreamt herself out of existence. And then that leaves us. We're the leftovers. The misadventure of insignificant specks of dust with short and unimportant lives. We're destined to continue to pull ourselves apart with our own dreams and restlessness that we stubbornly hang on to. We keep existing, even at the detriment of everything else. Some people are uncomfortable with the idea that there is no great intent or path that we're on, and that we're simple cosmic accidents. This discomfort sometimes leads to the creation of music and art. Sometimes it creates the desire for some to control others by spreading the myths of monsters as if they're truth. Others combat the same discomfort by mindlessly taking the hand of those that spread such games of pretend. And then there's those who simply stick out their thumbs and try to enjoy the ride as long as they can, without the nonsense of perilous fairy tales. The very nature of a virus is to mutate and adapt after all, and as I grew, I was constantly adapting. I had unknowingly encountered Sharon many times. Sharon was also constantly adapting to our ever-changing realities. While Screwtape and Wormwood were simply mindlessly fulfilling their mistress's bidding, Sharon was different. Sharon served no one and yet everyone. She answered directly to no one and simply helped those not because anyone told her to, but because she wanted to. It's what she knew in her heart was good, without ever needing someone to tell her that compassion was right. The first day we met face to face, with no barriers of darkness between us. The sky was dripping with life and the ground was filled with puddles that one could dance in, stomping out melodies between the raindrops. She chased me down the alleyway beside the tea shop in town as I was looking to create my own music as I waited for the store to open. I had taken Charlie's car to pick up some of the loose tea to refill our supplies at home. When she approached, she was in the form of a scraggly Australian shepherd with a coat shining in the sunlight between the raindrops as it peeked over the top of the buildings. She cornered me at the end of the alleyway. She was friendly. She licked my face and I scratched between her ears, and we splashed together in the puddles. As she shook the water from her fur, the hair of her coat shortened and became a gray cloak of cotton. Her back legs grew longer and her front legs stretched into human arms. I backed away. I wasn't scared. In fact, I felt an overwhelming feeling of calm in the pit of my stomach. I remember only feeling this way the time I was relieved to find Uncle Charlie at the keys of the piano the first time I heard it sing. She had short, beautiful gray hair and a youthful face. I couldn't place her age. She was certainly older than me, but much younger than Uncle Charlie. Her veins seemed to glow beneath her pale skin, and her eyes were shades of gray with flecks of gold and brown. I couldn't move as I watched her transformation. I managed to muster, "What are you?" "I am the moon. I am a psychopomp. I am the shepherd of the dead. I am hope. Some call me Harrow. Some call me Phlegyas. I've been known as Bachlin and as Urshanabi. Sometimes people perceive me as a dog, sometimes raven. Sometimes I'm a vulture, sometimes an owl. Sometimes you've perceived me as human, and other times I'm only a figment of your verbose imagination. At my heart, my dear George, I am a watcher, a protector, and I've been protecting Charlie for hundreds of years, and yet he's completely unaware of me. You may call me Sharon." "Are you going to eat me now?" Sharon laughed. "Oh, dear George, I'm far too full from the last human I ate to do so now." My eyes widened and my palms moistened as they touched the brick of the wall at my back. Now I was nervous. "Relax. I don't eat people. In fact, I don't eat much of anything besides a drink of water here and there. I'm on your side. You're safe. Most people don't even remember me after I've gone." I was hesitant to relax, but that feeling of calm returned to my stomach. I believed her. "What do you want with me?" "I want to help you. I'm here to protect you. I was there when the storks brought you into Charlie's life. I was there when the beast nearly attacked you that first night you woke up to Charlie playing. I was even there outside the tea spot that day when Charlie couldn't stop dancing his fingers on the keys. I was there when Cordova first birthed Screwtape into your world, and I was there watching as she put Wormwood into his service." "The piano guys?" I questioned. Sharon nodded slowly. I knew that they weren't normal. Wait, who's Cordia? Cordiva. Let's take it one step at a time, Sharon insisted. Do you trust me? Would you trust a shape-shifting dog in the back alley of a tea shop that just told you that they shepherd the dead? Fair point. I only request that you listen and remember as much as you can about what I'm about to tell you. If I agree to listen to you, will you let me go get my tea? I'm not holding you captive. You aren't my fare and you're free to go wherever you wish. We can't let Screwtape and Wormwood win, but they'll never let you get close to the piano if they suspect you want to destroy it. You know about the piano in our basement? What is it exactly? I don't have much time, but I promise to answer more of your questions soon. For now, I need you to go to Charlie and tell him you want to take lessons. You need to convince Wormwood, Screwtape, and Cordiva that you're not a threat. But I am a threat. But they can't know that. They need to think that you can be trusted around the piano. You're going to need to learn to play it. You have this talent already. It's inside you. You can learn to tame it, and it won't bite your hands off as long as you can keep calm at the keys. I don't want to touch it. I've seen what it does to Charlie. He plays it masterfully, but then he doesn't remember. I've tried to record him, but the tapes come out all wrong. He's changed. He's not my Uncle Charlie anymore. Take this card and listen very closely. Sharon reached into her cloak and found a square, dark piece of paper that was no thicker than a cardboard coaster. It had gold embossed letters that caught the light as it was passed into my hands. You need to gain its trust. You need to gain their trust. You'll have to prove that you're worthy of the keys and that you are a serious student, or they'll never let you near the basement nightmare again, and we'll lose Charlie forever. Trust me, please, she begged. I examined the card carefully. It had a treble clef centered at the top and a name below it. I ran my fingers over the text. It read, Sarah Swathy, piano lessons. There was a phone number listed, and unlike the number Wormwood gave us for the piano movers, this one didn't seem like it was out of the movies. Give that card to Charlie when you get home. Tell him you found it on the bulletin board at the tea shop. Start taking lessons, and I'll find you again soon. Sharon melted away into one of the puddles, and the cloak collapsed into the water until there was nothing left. If I didn't have Sarah's business card, I would have questioned whether the whole thing even happened. The tea spot opened, and I walked into the jingle of the bell that they always had on the door. I picked up an armful of jasmine and English breakfast tea and headed back to the car. The seatbelt whirred, locking me into place as I tapped my carwala on the nose that I kept on the dashboard before engaging the engine. Charlie's never going to believe this eucalyptus. That concludes Chapter 9 of How to Kill a Piano. Thanks for listening, as always. And if you haven't already followed us on social media, you can find us as How to Kill a Piano on Facebook. You can find me personally as Think George Tait on Facebook or on Twitter or on YouTube under that same handle. If you go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, not only will you be subscribing to How to Kill a Piano, you'll also be able to see a bunch of our theatrical magic that we put up there as well. When I say we, I mean me. This is a one-man show after all. Please pass on the word. Please share with your friends. Please visit howtokillapiano.com. And if you can, hit that donate button. We'll see you next week. Thanks again.